Such a dork.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie Mosley.
Hey, I cut off Charlie. I would rewind and go do that again, but the sweaty day I'm having, who knows? Hey everybody, welcome to Athena After Dark. I'm so happy you're all here. Yes, the Hot Mess Express is in the house for sure. Literally, it's 110 degrees, and yeah, there's no help for any of this. I didn't even bother to put on makeup because it'll just run right off. It's all melted and everything. So I hope you guys had a great week. Boy, howdy. I've been getting my ass kicked. I don't know what it is in the stars, the universe, but I feel it's all coming together. Been working on a lot of crazy stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But let's start out with our upcoming events. Again, we have a great guest tonight. You guys know this show is all about my guests, and I love it. So we're going to hop through this stuff quickly and get to our lovely guest, Miss Ashley Alexander. You're going to love her. She's amazing. Okay, so here we go. July 31st through August 3rd. Ladies, on your way to Sturgis, Athena Ride for Women. This is in Ohio, and it's some of the most beautiful riding they say you will ever see. Somehow, I don't know if this is my slide or not. Oh, yeah, Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Everybody's getting ready. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a second, too. Boy, howdy, there's so much stuff. Go to cyclesourcemagazine.com. Find out all the good Cycle Source events. Make sure if you see Grease and Gears anywhere and they're filming, get in front of the camera. You could be there. You have so many good shows. Stevenson Cycle. They have, look on my website, on the Vagabond Chopper and the Athena After Dark. I'll list the events coming up here in the next day or so. And then after Sturgis, we have the Smoke Out. I'm so excited for this. One of my favorite events. And it is September 5th through 8th, 2024. And smokeoutrally.com. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoy Sturgis. It's really hot up there. If anybody got a chance to see, it hailed in Deadwood like day before yesterday. It was crazy. But it's going to be fun, and it's an incredible time. So if you've never been to Sturgis, got nothing to do, you can leave in the next day or so. Get there. It'll be the best time you ever had on two wheels for sure. One of the best times, I'm sure. There's a lot of good ones. Okay, yeah, so let's talk about the stuff that's coming up. Sturgis Rally is going to be great. I know at the Iron Horse, you can go there. All the Cycle Source events there all week long. Also, if you get an opportunity at the Steel Pony Campground, Randy has his Cycle Showcase show. It is phenomenal. If you've never been to his show, please go out there. Thursday night is the disco party at the Thirsty Pony pool and bar area at the Steel Pony Campground. You'll see Roadside out there. You'll see everybody in their disco outfits. I'm really bummed out that I don't get to go. However, there's a really good reason for it. So let's start by saying next Monday and the following Monday, we will not be having a show because a lot of our guests are in Sturgis. And the ones that I think would be great, I would like to have so they could come after and talk about how Sturgis was. Excuse me. And also, I have some things that I have to take care of, some personal things, and then a project that is going to be out of this world. And we will talk about it here when it happens. You guys will be the first to know. It's going to be exciting, something I never thought I'd be doing in my world of motorcycles, but because of the backstory and what it is and how it evolved and the part that I can play in bringing it to everyone, I'm excited about. So fingers crossed that my presentation goes well and I'm accepted to do that for everyone. I'm looking forward to getting my stuff there. So we'll just leave it at that. Okay. Just in case anybody doesn't know, we have meteor showers coming up. On my Facebook page, the Jan, the meteorologist lady, she always tells us about the meteor showers, but you can go outside and that I think today and tomorrow and the next day, like they're supposed to get more and more and more. So be on the lookout. Google it if you're not sure. Meteor showers are cool. I always like it because when you see a shooting star, you get to wish on it. And then when I wish on the shooting stars, my dreams come true. My wishes come true, which I only wish my dreams like things I want. I'm learning about manifesting. This is an odd concept for me that you think about things and they come to fruition, like vision boards and things of that nature. I guess growing up, we didn't have a lot of that. Um, they would say you were daydreaming or stuff like that, but I get it. And I'm working towards assimilating my own little like vision board and manifesting some stuff that I think is going to be cool. So we'll see how the universe reacts to all that. I know it sounds like some crazy shit, right? Okay, well, let's get on with it here. I love you guys, and I'm so glad that you're all here. I see you all out there. Hey, hey, Miss Terry. I see you. Okay, let me go here to we're going to get started with. We did smoke out. So listen, again, smoke out. They're going to have crazy drag races. There's mini bike races. There's the gallery of all the builders. Um, there's so much going on. Camping. It's like going back to the 70s in a motorcycle event and sprinkle in a little bit of the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, all the way to the 20s into it. So it's an event. You've got to be there. We're going to be there. And then after that, we are going to Maryville, Tennessee for the V Twin Visionary show in October, the beginning of October. I'll put that up here on the next show. Okay. So everybody remember, if you're looking for news, you want to make sure that you are checking out bikernet.com, motorcycle magazine. It's got global coverage on everything owned by bikers. It's got customs, chopper, performance parts, technology, rider gear, racing, adventures, events, and the fight to ride free. And I don't know if a lot of people really know how important that is, but if you have preferences about what you like to drive, carbureted, not EPA covered, things like that, helmets, so much. There's so much to it. Our rights, not to be extorted at rallies, not to be harassed. There's a lot to it. But if you check out BikerNet and then subscribe to the Cantina because he has the coolest. Bandit has the coolest fiction stories. He's got the hot babes, the pinup girls, the senoritas, and all that stuff in the Cantina. So it's a very, very cool thing. All right, so we're going to go to Ask Athena. Here we go. All right, hi, Athena. As a custom builder, what is your most prestigious award and how did you get it? Love the show. See you on the road. And that is Joey R. from Kansas City, Missouri. All right, Joey, here you go. I took a picture of it for you, just for you. My most prestigious award, excuse me, 2009 Best Evo, Willie's Tropical Tattoo. Now, I have to say, I have a lot of awards. My Bill Dodge Bling Cycles from the TMMR is a very, very prestigious award to me too. However, the Willie's Award matters because this was before I knew Willie. And it's kind of funny, the story. I built the bike for the Rot Rally in Texas. And what happened was, as a builder, there was a criteria, and you had to do like a 70-mile ride. So many things. My bike made it. I met all the criteria. And unfortunately, there were a lot of the judges were other motorcycle builders. There were 6 men and 1 woman who shall remain nameless. She walked around and carried her dogs the whole time. It was pretty crazy. It was like a Paris Hilton thing. So, and she was known for a minute as a woman builder. She had done some television. And I was at the Rot Rally, and Don and I worked our asses off, the kids, everybody, to bring this bike to the Rot Rally. And everybody said I was cheating because I painted it like the Texas flag, but it really looked good. And when you're going to Texas, what the hell else would you do but paint it like the Texas flag, right? Hey, Jared, I see you. I wish I was going to Sturgis. I just explained that. But honestly, I have projects and no shows for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll be back. I'll put an announcement out. But yeah, so I was at the Rot Rally with this motorcycle, myself and 2 other gentlemen, Richie from Redneck Engineering and another gentleman, I don't remember his name. We made the ride and we made the criteria. Then we got back, all the judges got to judge, and 6 out of 7 judges, all the guys, ended up giving me scores in the 90s, and the one woman judge decided that she was going to give me scores in the 20s. Now, when I tell you that this motorcycle was handmade, it was in an issue of Cycle Source magazine. I probably put up some pictures next week about it, but I came in fourth place, which was fine. I didn't mind. I got to see who judged what, and I understood how it went, and I didn't have a bad attitude or anything, because the icing or the cherry on top, even though I didn't come in the money or win, which Richie did, and I was so happy for him because his bike was stellar, awesome. Um, I got to lead the parade with Ami James from the rally grounds all the way to the Capitol in Austin, with thousands of motorcycles behind us, and it was super cool. You looked around and you couldn't see anything except people and motorcycles, and it was just amazing. I did see Paul Yaffe. It was one of the best days of my life. So there's just a little in there to it, just because you don't always get an award doesn't mean you don't win. But when I pulled this bike up at Willie's, I just parked it off into the corner, and I just got a sticker. I didn't even really want to enter the bike. I just wanted to pay the $20 because the money always goes to the veterans. And I had heard that about the show, and it was the first time that I was there. So I pulled my bike up, and then Roadside, of course, was doing the announcements. I didn't really know him. I had just met him a couple of times prior to that, him and Chris Callan. And yeah, he called my name, and I was shocked. Best Evo. I literally, I was like, I was dumbfounded. And then I had to bring the bike up and everything. And it was just like, wow. It had the man stand on it. I had a center stand on it that somehow in our engineering and our geometry I put on backwards. So you had to be a man. You had to manhandle it to get it up. I always had to have somebody help me pull it up. It's okay. And a guy bought it and totaled it. He hit a tree with it. So I did get some of the parts back though. It was really cool. Not my twin cam oil tank, my V twin oil tank, V Hive oil tank. Anyways, Don made this cool oil tank out of 2 twin cam cylinders. We call it the V Hive, and had pistons for the top. It's actually in the feature. So it was cool, but that's why that's my most prestigious award, because when I tell you there were 200 motorcycles packed in there, you couldn't walk in between any of them. Anybody who's been to the Willie show knows what I'm talking about. I think last registration we had like 192 bikes. Yeah, so it mattered. It meant the world to me. And now that I have a relationship with Sir Willie and Miss Jean and the crew, thanks to Chris Callan and Heather and Roadside, my life is so much better. It's just it's pleasant and it's enjoyable, and I look forward to the shows every October and every March. So if you guys don't know, you got to come and see us at Willie's Tropical Tattoo for sure. Okay, let's get on with it because I could jabber all night, and it's all about my guests. Okay, and then I tell you guys all the time, Grease and Gears TV. You need to sign up. Definitely need to subscribe. It's Grease and the letter N, gearstv.com. Okay, so from Cycle Source, powered by Dennis Kirk, Chris and Heather Callan and Mark, they do a phenomenal show. An hour and a half packed of everything motorcycles. And they do that on Shop Talk on Sunday. And Grease and Gears is like their version of Netflix of motorcycling. So you can see events that you want to go to. You can see events that you've been at, see if you've been on camera, all that good stuff. Okay, now we're going to do a dose of goodwill. All right. So tonight, our guest is participating in this, and it is Tankful. At the Smokeout, you will see Miss Heather and her sister and Missy. They put this together. A few other ones too. Hi, Willie. I see you. I was talking about you. I love you guys so much. Chris and Heather and Missy and her sister and a bunch of other people had Mark. They make the stands to put these tanks on, and everybody gets a tank, and they do art on it, and then it's auctioned off, and all the money, all of it, goes to Meals on Wheels. For our aging elders. That's what I'd like to say. They're not old, they're not elderly, they're our aging elders, because they are the reason that we're here and we're doing what we're doing. So go look at the smokeoutrally.com, check that out. If you go to the rally, which you really should do, it's a must, absolute must. Um, Willie even rides there. He rides there from Daytona every year. Um, when you go, make sure you check out all the Tankful art. There's some Sissy Bar art too. Uh, we're gonna have him on the show one day, and yeah, I'm super excited because our guest tonight, she's gonna be participating. So let's go ahead here and just shout out to all our friends because I want to get to the guests because it's my best part. All right. So we have Viking Bags, we have Cycle Source Magazine, Paco, SNS, Chicago Motorcycle Supply, Willie's Tropical Tattoo, Open Road Radio. Miss Gina Wood, she's on an hour before us. Check her out, openroadradio.com. Baker Drivetrain, Farm Life Creamery, Miss Laura Clock. Baker Drivetrain. I love Bert and Lisa and their daughter Michelle, the whole crew, everybody there. They're fantastic. We have Palm Beach Harley Davidson. That's our local store here. Biker Bells. Ladies, if you're going to Sturgis, make sure you sign up and go on the Biker Bells ride. You will not be sorry you did that. Our good friends at Tobacco Road Harley Davidson, which Miss Ashley is on tonight, and she is part of that whole setup there. Miss Maggie South Country Inn. Biker Lives Matter, Rogue. He is a freedom fighter. That's another one, along with BikerNet, that you want to check out. And Teddy Morse Harley Davidson and Twisted Tea. And we have some pages going up soon where you guys can see. I'm getting the links. You saw I got the little intro video. I made that all happen by myself, but I'll be damned. Something about the audio. I don't know if the song's restricted or whatever I'm trying to use, but I'm learning. I'm taking little tutorials. Can never be too smart, right? Like, for real, you got to be innovative in the ways that you do things. We're going to talk about that tonight too, because tonight's guest is a young lady who, I'm just going to say it, she is a rider. She is an artist. She is a rider training coach at Tobacco Road Harley Davidson. She paints on canvas. She's painting motorcycles now. She makes trophies. She does so much. And then her and her other half, Mark, who they're both phenomenal human beings. They're all involved in their community, all the way. And then his backstory with Tobacco Road Harley Davidson and Ray Price and how close they were. It's just incredible. He took the dealership and cared for it, and he loves it, and he's passionate about it. And that's how Ray was. And when he was racing in his dealership, it means the world. So this young lady she's an up and coming. So like, she's going to be a trendsetter. She is our future in motorcycles, motorsports, paint, cars, art, you name it. She is the future. I'm inspired by her because she has this can-do and let's do it and go for it attitude, and she's spontaneous and she's just full of life and just so exceptional in my book. And I'm honored to have her as a friend. We're starting to get to know each other, and I just hold her in such high regard. And I look forward to every time I know I get to see her, like Smokeout. Like, I know I'll get to see her and hug her, so that means something to me because they're fantastic. They put out all the blow up furniture. They got it going on there. You have to stop by and see their gig there. Okay, let's get to the pictures. Excuse me. All right, there's one of her classes for her rider training courses, and she put out a post at the end of the pictures. I'll give you all her way to get a whole, to look at her Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff like that. But she's always so proud of her students and their desire to want to move forward and learn to ride. And, it's incredible to watch. And she's always so bright and shiny. She's beautiful too, on top of all that, inside and out. I mean, she's gorgeous. All right, let's see. There she is. Now this picture over here on the left, I think it's your left, not in the helmet, but I think that's on a ferry, which I think is the coolest thing. I've been on a ferry in Alaska, and it was really weird. The bikes were on the bottom, though. This is like a top ferry where you go across. And there she is, her gorgeous eyes coming out of that helmet. That was on the actual announcement that we put out. Cheryl, I see you. So glad you guys are all here. Look at that gorgeous picture. I love that black and white photo of her with that Lowrider ST. I love that bike. It's so much fun to ride. And there she is. Somebody captured the candid shot. Look at her bright, shiny smile. Just love it. All right. And she's out in front of biker heaven. You got to love that. And there she is riding around. She's riding. I always ask the guests to send pictures they like, and I love to see them. I'm assuming this is probably the first motorcycle she ever rode, or that was hers. So we'll talk about that. I got to ask her that. And then look, she gets around. Look at that beautiful scene. It's incredible. And I love how the kids are just doing it. Look at that. She is phenomenally beautiful. She is absolutely gorgeous. And when you meet her, it doesn't matter that she's beautiful outside. Then you just get to see how she exudes all of it, the total beauty outside and the inside. Just amazing. All right, there she is riding again. She's got quite a diverse amount of motorcycles under her belt. And then over here, this is the first time I met her. This was at the Willits house. They were so hospitable, such great people again. And Miss Dawn, she invited us up there for a party for Donnie. That was one of my favorite days too. Right after the holidays, right after Thanksgiving. Look at that. Now I'm gonna say I'm assuming she painted that too, but that is a phenomenal motorcycle. And if she didn't paint it and she rides it, she got really good freaking taste, huh? I love it. Okay, now this one here, they were being spontaneous. You have to say this is her and Mark, and we'll talk about that. They were at an event somewhere. I think they almost got busted. She was hoping they weren't going to get busted, so it's pretty cool. Let's see here. What did Athena do? Athena just kind of like messed that up. I pushed a button here and I killed everything. Let's see. Hey, there it is. Okay, so Miss Ashley Alexander. She is a writer, artist, rider training coach, and you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, all around at Shiny Side Paint, at Shiny Side Paint. Okay, if you guys are ready, I can't wait to bring her in. This is my favorite part. I love that you guys are all watching. I'm so glad you guys aren't going to miss out because she is absolutely phenomenal. She's getting ready to go to Sturgis. So for those of you that see her out there, you know how I say, hello, share a smile. Hi, gorgeous. How are you?
Hi.
Oh, Bowser, right?
That's Bowser. Yeah. He's ready for bed, so he's looking at me like, why are you still awake?
Bowser, thank you so much for staying up with Mama Bear and keeping her awake for me. I appreciate it. So, are you ready?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How you going for the whole 10 days?
No, it's going to be a short one this year. I'm a little sad, but it's going to be a short one. We leave on Friday. We'll be back by Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. At least you're going though. Did you
Yeah.
see the
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the hail in Deadwood?
I did.
Oh,
I'm
how
hoping it all
crazy.
clears out before we get there.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I rode in that once up there. Like we all had to pull over, but it was like riding on marbles. It was crazy. I was glad that I was still upright and erect. That's a bad word to use, but bad choice of words, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're going to Sturgis. Are you participating in any events while you're there?
I'll be at the Parrots Paint Show.
Okay.
So I'll be there, helping with their registration, and maybe I'll get to walk around and help judge. But
Okay.
everything else is just kind of by the seat of our pants. So
very cool. That is awesome. And I know I'll see you at Smokeout because you're doing Tankful art and you guys are always there.
Yes. We are very,
Mhm.
very excited about Smokeout this year.
It's a great event.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun.
And Chris keeps adding more crazy stuff to it, which I love. I love it. That's funny. I know a little bit, but I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to say anything because I talk to him once in a while. It's like, really, you're going to do that? It's like you just want to say something about it, like okay, it's cool. So now you're doing Tankful art, and that you're going to do artwork on the side of a gas tank, and they're all going to be auctioned off, and the money, the proceeds, all of the proceeds from the auction go to Meals on Wheels.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. That is incredible. Are there any other charities that you do stuff with or that you have done stuff with?
Yeah, so I do a lot of charity work with the hamsters. So whatever event they're at and whatever charity they're doing, I try to participate as much as I can with them. Tankful Tank is a big one. I think that I enjoy the Tankful Tank charity a lot because you don't have to be at the event necessarily to participate because they promote it online. So you can go online. So even if you didn't make it to the event, you can still participate in the charity. So I think that's probably one of my favorites because it's a little bit more inclusive.
I like that. I really do like that. That's fabulous. Okay, so do you guys come down to Biketoberfest?
No. You know what's crazy is when I think Daytona, I think March. I have never been down there for Biketoberfest.
We'll have to fix that.
I think it's mostly because we're recovering from Sturgis in the smokehouse.
Right. Right.
October is our recovery date, and then we head up north and we go to the fall foliage run. So
Oh,
we
that's.
don't go back south until the spring.
And do you do the? Oh, so you don't do the high seas rally or any of that stuff either?
We haven't yet. We've talked about it. I'm not saying that big boats scare Mark, but I haven't seen
Ugh.
Mark on a very big boat yet. So
I can't. I look at a boat at a dock. I don't care what size it is. I want to. I can't. I'm not. Everybody's like, "Oh, we'll get you Dramamine." I'm like, I so want to do it because it looks like so much fun, but I don't want to be, Debbie Downer and be barfing over the side the whole trip.
yeah.
Kind of my thing. That's cool. Okay, so then you will be there for Daytona though, for
In
Bike
March,
Week
yes.
in
Yeah.
March. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
And then
It's got to be one
now,
of my favorite rallies, really.
yeah, fun in the sun. I love Bike Week.
It's fun in the sun. It's not the first rally of the year, but it's kind of the first big rally of the
Yeah.
year. And for some reason, when I'm in Daytona, I get like super inspired and I get like, I don't know if it's like spring fever or what, but some of the wildest ideas happen when I'm in Daytona. I don't know why. It was the first. So Daytona in March was the first motorcycle rally that I'd ever been to. So I don't know. It's kind of my favorite, I guess. I
No,
like
that's
the other
cool.
ones, but
And as an artist too, it's any chance you get to go and see things, but something about sun and palm trees and sand and beach that is it puts a little more flavor to it,
yeah. And
like
people have been working on their stuff
eh,
all winter. They're
mhm.
cooped up in their garages. They've been working on stuff all winter, and Daytona seems to be the place that they're like, ta-da!
Right. Yeah, that's the rest of the world. Like I live in South Florida. They ride here 365.
Yeah.
We ride all year round. But I get annoyed because I'll be riding to Daytona, which is 220 miles, and a trailer with two dressers will pass me with two dressers on the trailer. And I'm just like, seriously, like what? What's up with that ride? I mean, I get time constraints, but it's literally 4 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah.
So
At that
look
point.
at he is one of the most handsome dogs ever. He looks like my Sparky girl. I have to say, I'll have to text you a picture of her. He's a like a bull boxer.
I have no idea. He's
Yeah,
a mutt as far as I know.
I love it.
He's a
How
baby. That's what he is. He's just a baby.
how old of a baby?
11, almost
Yeah.
12.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sparky made it. Sparky was
None of this was
17.
gray before. This
Yeah.
was all black.
What?
And now
Oh, was it?
now we're a gray old man.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a dog's life,
He's
literally. I'm gonna leave it at
distinguished.
that. Distinguished, yes. Yeah,
Distinguished.
with a name like Bowser. And look at that face. He is very distinguished and he knows it. He's like got his king on, like, I'm on camera. I know what I'm doing. That's so funny. He is so cute. It's like, why'd she say that? So now you're a rider training coach. You do
Mhm.
that at Tobacco Road Harley Davidson.
Yep.
Now, is there a certain time of year that you don't have classes? So everybody knows that's watching in case they want to come and see you.
January.
Okay.
January is the only month that we don't hold classes. So we'll run
Okay.
classes starting first weekend of February, all the way up until as close to the holidays as we can get. So usually the week before Christmas
Okay.
will be our last class of the year. And then we take a break for January because I can't pay my coaches enough to have them coach in January.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
we start back up in February. Yeah.
So, I mean, I have regular questions that I ask everybody, the same questions, but I want to ask you as a rider training coach, like, what's your biggest challenge when you do that? And then what do you think is your biggest reward?
So those kind of go hand in hand. So the biggest challenge is not a physical challenge. Like people physically don't have a challenge riding
Mhm.
motorcycles. It's a mental challenge. So there's
Okay.
a lot of like mental blockage, right? Like mind over matter is huge when you're teaching people how to ride a motorcycle because a lot of times they're terrified. Like
Yeah.
the anxiety, whether it's their own fear or other people's fear for them or whatever their situation is, it's the increased stress, right? Because when you have that level of stress and anxiety going through your brain, it's hard to tell your hands and feet what to do.
Right.
But the biggest reward is to see people overcome that. And when they do overcome it and they look at you and they have those light bulb moments and they go, I did it. And you're like, yeah, I know, I saw.
Oh, I
That's like
love
the
it.
most rewarding part is like when they realize for the first time that they rode a motorcycle and they rode a Harley Davidson and they're just like standing there in disbelief. And you're like, yeah,
Right.
we got more to do, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's why the excuse me, at the museum and the factory, they put out that bike that you can sit on like the dyno, like the wheel spins and they can shift
Yeah.
and do all that. That's
Yeah.
always good. I tell some of the ladies that I know, they're like, "Oh, I'm not coordinated enough for that." And I'm like, "It's the stuff in your brain, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, if we could put you on a trike or something, you know what I mean? If you don't want to be on two wheels, you're not happy with that. First, you got to learn the shift and, move your hands and move your feet and all the stuff and the way you need without, like you said, the anxiety. And
Yeah.
that's got to be like the craziest thing. But I guess you have like a pep talk that you give them and you tell them all, hey, listen, if I can do it, you can do it, like kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I went through that. Like when I first started riding, I was terrified. It was really scary for me because I had been told, you can't do that. It's too much. You're not coordinated enough. Like that's not for girls. Like all those
Oh, yeah.
things, right? I had been told that by one main source, but there were other people that were like, you're crazy. Like that's dangerous, whatever, whatever. So am I boring you?
No, we're just keeping it up. She's awesome. I love it.
So knowing what that feels like definitely helps me coach people that are going through that because you know what I mean. Like I
Right.
had to push through it. So pep talks are a big one. Breathing, telling it
Okay.
sounds dumb, but telling people to just
No.
breathe because you can't ride a motorcycle like this.
Right.
I,
Yeah. Because the
I watch
stress
people
you get,
try.
right. And they're white knuckling, like,
Just white knuckling, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But that
crazy.
training motorcycle that you were talking about where the back wheel is kind of on a
Mhm.
roller bar, we have one of those at the dealership. And I recommend everybody that signs up to take a class, an MSF class, Harley class, I recommend find your local dealership, go spend
Yeah.
30 minutes on it. They're
Mhm.
free to use and they're fantastic. If you've never like been familiarized with a clutch, like
Right.
it's recommend. Do not go in a
Right.
parking lot with your boyfriend
No.
on his bike. Don't
Uh-huh.
do it.
Right.
Go to the Harley dealership and see if they have a jump start.
Yeah, jumpstart. That's what they call it. And
Yeah.
that thing is phenomenal because again, it takes it out of your brain where you can concentrate on the shifting and moving your feet and your hands and everything. And then I tell everybody, listen, after you get your license, go get your license and then go rent a motorcycle. Go to a rental and rent it. Buy the good insurance. That way when you dump it, because everybody dumps them, you know, it happens. And then you can ride different ones and decide what is meant for you, what you're more comfortable on or more confident on, as far as that goes. That's always my suggestion to them. That's
Yeah.
super cool you do that though. And now, do you find it's easier to teach men or women?
Mm, I don't know. They're easier and more difficult in different ways, I
Okay.
guess.
All right.
Um, I don't know. Men
That's a
tend
good
to be a
answer.
little bit more fearless because it's already socially accepted that they can be on a motorcycle, right?
Right.
So the challenge with them sometimes is I'm a female coach and
Oh,
they want to
ego.
show off and they want to really just like show me how it's done. And I'm like,
Ego. Yeah,
yeah,
ego.
yeah, the ego gets in the way a bit more with the men. And then the women, it's the confidence. So it's kind
Yeah.
of, they're challenging, but like in opposite ways, I guess.
I love that. That's gonna serve you so well for the rest of your adult life in the world. No, really, I mean, for real, because it helps you learn so many different personalities and you can see the struggles and it sometimes it's just the body language. Everybody's like, I'm fine, but you can tell the body language and you have to learn that in life. A lot of people don't understand body language, and if you do, you go farther. It is, and being more understanding towards and empathetic towards everybody has a struggle, you know what I mean? So that's really good life experience too, not just motorcycle experience. Now, we'll talk about the dealership a little bit. Now you guys, they're open. What are their hours there? I know you know that.
So Monday through Friday is 9 to 6, Saturday is 9 to 5, Sunday is noon to 4.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody, make sure that when you're going through North Carolina, you go to Tobacco Road, Harley Davidson. You get to see all the wonderful stuff, and I'm sure there's iconic things all over there because that was Ray Price's dealership, and he was a racer, and he had Tommy Grimes raced for him and stuff like that. But he built that himself, and Mark was really close to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then had an opportunity to be passed the torch and take it on. And from what I understand, he is as passionate about his community and being involved in motorcycling. I know him and I had a conversation about racing and stuff like that. So it's not really something that's on the thing right now. Not that it can never be again, but I know that he spends a lot of time with his community. Like, I mean, I have friends that they've been on events and stuff like that. He'll sponsor them to go on events, when it's something that's pertinent, and they're local, but they're local people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's not that they come ask for it. He finds out what they're doing and sees them in the dealership and stops them and says, "Hey, I heard you're doing this. Can we help you? Can we participate?" I think that is the coolest thing, because growing up for me, dealerships were, if you had tattoos or you were a real, like, a biker and not wearing the boat shorts and the boat shoes and the Izod shirt, you had to use the back door here. You couldn't go through the front door, for real. And it
Yeah.
was crazy, and to see the feedback that I get from people that go through there, it's just incredible. I just think it's wonderful. So I'll let you brag about him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're definitely spot on. Tobacco Road seems to be one of the most inclusive dealerships. It doesn't matter who you are, what you look like when you walk through that door. You're a biker. You're one of us.
Right.
The whole second mezzanine floor is actually set up as a museum for Ray Price. So you can walk up and look at all the drag bikes, and there's glass displays and everything. Yeah.
Oh, I'm coming up to visit you guys. I am. When did you say? January, October, January? Wherever you're taking a break, I'm taking a break. I'm coming to see you. I'm just gonna show up. Oh my God, I have to see
January.
that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
It's super cool.
That's cool. I'm a Florida girl. It's like, our air conditioner broke in the house, and it was like 90 degrees in the house. And my son went and got a window shaker and put it in his room. And he's like, "Aren't you dying?" And I'm like, "No, I'm used to it. I'm always freezing when the AC's on. It's like 77 degrees." And I'm like, "Jesus, we live in Florida. What is wrong with you people?" So I get it. But I did buy a snowboarding suit this past March, thinking that, because if it got cold enough, like if it's in the 40s in Daytona and I'm riding, I don't like to be cold. So I bought the snowboarding suit. It's really kind of cool. So I was like, it's got the fur rim. It fits over my helmet. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do me. Everybody will notice me. And sure enough, I didn't even need to bring it. I was so happy. But in January, I probably have to wear it getting out of the car to come see you guys. All right. So let me ask about your art, because we don't really have a set time. I know that you're staying up late, but I want to get it all in. So you always painted on canvas, right?
Yeah.
And then you decided one day that you were going to go ahead and you wanted to throw your hat in the ring to paint motorcycles.
Yeah.
And how was that met? Like, I'm sure you went to Mark and said, "Hey, listen, I'm thinking about."
So I was in Daytona.
Oh,
It
this
was
past
March.
Daytona?
No, this was a couple years ago.
Right.
And we were walking through. We had a group of friends with us, and there was this guy airbrushing an eagle in the middle of everything on the front of a street glide fairing. And we walked by him, and then I stopped, and I just stood there and watched. And I'm looking at like how he's holding his hands and the airbrush that he's using and the type of paint that he's using and the light. And I'm just like absorbing all of it and all the detail that I could, just like taking photographic pictures of everything that was happening. My group has like wandered off, completely left me. And I'm just standing there and I'm like, I could do that. I could do that. I've never touched an airbrush in my life, mind you.
I love it.
And I'm just standing there going, I think I can do that. He's making money doing that. I can do that. finally caught back up with the group, or they came back around to find me. And I remember telling Mark that night, I was like, I think I'm gonna paint bikes. And he did that like, okay, sweetheart, like, okay. Yeah. And then I started doing it. So that was in March, and I painted my first bike for Sturgis that August.
I love it. You go, you bad animal. And so
Yeah.
in the pictures that I've shown, the little white bike, was that your first motorcycle?
Yeah.
That's cute. That is
Yeah.
very cute. And then
Yeah.
the scallop paint job, the tan and brown, is that something you painted? Or
No, actually, that is my first chopper. That is the first bike that I got to help. It was originally blue with blue flames.
okay.
And so that's the first bike that I actually got to help take apart. I didn't paint it. Danny Omasta painted it.
Okay.
Fantastic painter.
Oh,
And
it's a great
he's
paint job.
inspired. Yeah, he's been a big inspiration to, encourage me to get into it. He was very helpful in the beginning. But yeah, he was the one that painted it. But that was the first chopper, first open primary, first time I got to take a bike apart, help put it back together. So that's actually the bike that I'll be riding in Sturgis this year.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
First
Very
hardtail.
good.
It's a first for a lot of things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I and it's a gorgeous bike. It's an Evo, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's super
So
cool.
that bike was painted to match Mark's truck. And then that bike and truck were on the cover of Easy Rider, I want to say this
Oh,
spring.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. I thought it looked familiar, and I was like, I have to go buy those at the store. I don't get a subscription like I do Cycle Source. So. I don't know why though. I got friends in both places. That's too funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so the picture I did put up one picture of you and Mark. I'm sure you saw it on Captain America.
Yeah.
Tell me this. You got to tell me the story. You have to tell me.
Yeah, there were a couple of drinks involved. We were having a good time, and there
That
was
was
a motorcycle.
a display
Now,
bike.
okay. In hindsight, the motorcycle was set up for people to get on and take pictures and whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, we should take a picture. And then he gets on, and I was like, well, like, why do you get to be on the motorcycle? And then what, you just want me to like stand behind it? Like, yeah.
I love you. You are so adorable.
So
Spontaneous.
then
That's it.
after we both climbed on it, I was like, we're definitely getting kicked out of here. But we didn't. Everybody thought it was a hoot, and we got a good picture.
We got a good picture. Yeah, that's fabulous. That is fabulous. That is too cool. So, for everybody watching, this young lady paints phenomenal. The trophy again at the paint show in Daytona, you did for an Arlen-ness tribute trophy.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I do have it on my Facebook page. I will go post it again for everybody to see it. Wow, just so much diversity and so much talent, and I'm just so I can't wait. I just can't wait to see more. I'm excited for you. And then also on your page, you have a trike. You just did a trike, your first trike, right?
First trike. Yeah.
How was that? That was crazy, huh?
That was crazy. It was a lot. I learned every project I do, I learned something. Some projects I learn a little bit more than others. This one was a little bit more than others. It was a lot of firsts wrapped into this project, but it was awesome.
It turned out amazing. Amazing.
You.
I'm really, really impressed. So yeah, everybody, you guys go to at Shiny Side Paint, check out all her stuff. Okay, so how do you feel about some questions?
Let's go.
All right. Bowser's like, yeah, come on, you're keeping me up here. All right. So dogs or cats? I guess we don't really have to ask that one unless you have some cats running around the house somewhere.
I have a cat, but I don't know where he is. He's already gotten his 10 minutes of attention, and he's off about his way, because that's just kind of how cats are. He's got food, he's got water. He doesn't need me for anything else.
Right. It only just needs you for the thumbs once in a while, the opposable thumbs. Okay, yeah. Apples or oranges?
Apples. I had to think hard about that one.
Yeah, and do you like them just stock, or do you like peanut butter and all that stuff on them?
Ooh, I definitely like peanut butter on them, but there are like 4,500 different types of apples. I did the research on this. There's only about 400 different types of oranges. So just the sheer diversity in apples makes you, how do you pick oranges over that?
You're a badass. I like a Honeycrisp. A Honeycrisp apple is my favorite. That's my favorite. Honeycrisp. And if you haven't had one, you should get one because they're really good. They're like tender and fluffy at the same time. It's weird. Anyways, okay, hotel or camping?
Camping.
Camping.
Motorcycle camping, to be specific.
And what is motorcycle camping, to be
Just
specific?
camping off the bike, just putting your tent, whatever you need, stacking it on the bike, and just riding until you stop, and then throwing up the tent, and then the next morning just throwing it back on the bike and taking off
I
again.
love
Some
it.
of my best memories have just been camping off the motorcycle. It is.
Sure. Oh yeah, most definitely. I wonder if Mark would say the same thing. We'll have
I
to
think,
know what we're gonna
I
get him
think
as a
so.
guest. We're gonna have to have him as a guest. You'll have to see if you could bend his arm for me and see if I could get him on here one day. Maybe like October or January when he's not like, in
When
the
he's
middle of
not,
it.
yeah, when he's not
Yeah.
running around with 3 heads, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Slow or fast?
Well, I'm gonna say slow because Mark won't let me drag race, so I don't really know what fast feels like yet.
Yet. I like that word. That's a good word.
Well, I think I have convinced him to let me do a track day. Like, we have
Okay.
talked kind of a little bit more seriously about doing some track days. So I'm going to say slow for now. But if you ask me again later, the answer might be fast.
Listen, I volunteer now to be on your pit crew. I volunteer. I'll sweep the floor in the pit. I don't care. I volunteer. You and Jenny Bass. I could fix my whole year around your racing and Sons of Speed. I wouldn't have to. Yeah, I'd be good. I'd just be good. Okay. Breaking or making?
I think breaking, because breaking things to make things is way more creative than just making a thing.
I love it. You see, you
Like,
really are a badass.
it sounds like counterintuitive, I guess. Like, it sounds
No,
kind of backwards, but like, if you break something and you got to make something to fix the thing you broke, sometimes the thing that you made because you broke the thing is better than
way
the
better.
thing was originally.
That is the best answer ever. I love that. I love it. Sunshine or moonshine?
Oh, sunshine.
Yeah,
Sunshine.
that's why you like Daytona first bike ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's for sure.
for
Okay,
sure.
what is your favorite song? I know that's a hard one, but if you got one this week, it's.
I really don't. I
No.
don't, I can listen to the same song 100 times and never be able to tell you the lyrics.
Really?
Really?
You hear the tune. So
Sometimes.
maybe you're just like
Mhm.
background noise. It's background noise. I'm over
It
here.
really is for me. It's
Huh?
really background noise. And I think it's because I'm just so hyper visual
Right.
that the audio just, I could care
Now
less.
now if you were watching the video of the song, you'd probably know all the words, right?
Yes. So if I watch a video that has the lyrics, like in
Mm,
subtitles, I could tell you the words.
I
But
love
just
it.
listening to it, I don't. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I get that. And is there a certain genre of music that you prefer, or do you listen to all of it?
I listen to all of it.
That's cool. That
Yeah,
is
I
so
really
cool.
listen to all of it.
You're an old soul. You're a
Yeah.
young kid with an old soul. I love that. And then you're open to anything. See, that's it. I have a tattoo on my arm. It's why not? It's like a Y with a
Why
knot.
not? I
Exactly.
love
It
that.
doesn't make. There's always. You just gotta just. I tell everybody I'll try anything once, twice if I like it. Right.
Yeah.
So
And how do you know if you like it or you don't? If you don't
until you try
have an
it.
open mind to it, you never know.
Right. Right. Um. So, what is your favorite road food?
Anything from Bucky's.
Buc-ee's. Oh my God. I just went with my daughter. It was like I went in there and I was like, there's so many people in there, and I mean, it's the Walmart of truck stops. Like,
Yes.
it was crazy. Yeah, it took like an hour and a half to get through there. That place was crazy cool. I understand that. I understand
I
that
love it.
answer.
I
That's cool.
love
My
it.
grandson, I
They have this like garlic jerky that is so good.
okay. Okay, my grandson, he's always like, "Mimi, let's stop at Bucky's." I'm like, "Okay, I got you, Bucky's." And I get him a little Bucky's suit, maybe. I might do that. That's funny.
Yes.
Okay, so if you were a superhero, who would you be?
I don't know. I never really got into the superheroes when I was a
No
kid. Yeah.
comic books or nothing like that.
No. No, I always thought the Pink Power Ranger was cool because she was like the Pink Power Ranger,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
Okay. The Pink Power Ranger's pretty cool. I see you
I
as
don't think
like
she really has any superpowers though, does she? I mean,
she they fight for good. That's a superhero, right? Like that's the even Robin Hood was a freaking superhero, even though he was a thief. He still stole from the rich to give to the poor in some fashion. Maybe he was a superhero. I don't know. I guess it depends on how skewed your perspective is. I see you I see you as Electra. I see you like throwing lightning bolts of like paint on stuff and it just comes out to be this magnificent. People would have to see if they saw that trophy that Arlen Estra with the hand. Oh yeah. 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 Doesn't matter. You are just a plain out superhero. You're a shiny side paint superhero. A
superhero.
triple S, shiny side. No, SSPS. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on that. Okay, so if you were a cocktail, a mixed drink, what would you be?
I'm gonna say old fashioned.
I like that. You
Because
couldn't.
you either like it or you don't. And if you like it, you probably love it.
Oh my god! And you were so spot on because you're an old soul, old fashioned. That just makes perfect sense. I'm loving this. Like this is it couldn't get any better than this. All right, we're gonna get on to some real questions. How did you get into motorcycles?
Um, I got into motorcycles because I was told I couldn't.
That's me. Same. Same. I love it. I love it. Okay. So then tell us a little bit about how you went about getting that little first white motorcycle. You just
Oh
decided one
gosh,
day.
that is a long, not super happy story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, ex-husbands, whatever. I
Oh
stole
yeah,
his
yeah.
bike and I learned to ride on it, and you
Oh
know,
my God, we live parallel lives. My ex-husband, he was on a fishing boat and I just decided they were all busting on my balls telling me I couldn't. And one day I just went out and I did. That's
yeah,
funny. Yeah, I had
yeah.
already learned how to ride. One of his friends thought it was a joke. And he put me on his big long stretch motorcycle, got on the back, said, if you wreck my bike, I'll kill you. And I was like, yeah, okay. But then he was on the fishing boat and I bought him a brand new bike and it was just sitting there and everybody was going out. And I was like, I want to go. And I can't ride anybody else's motorcycle because I'm with him. So they're like, I dare you to take it. I was like, yeah, okay. I paid for it. So I did. Then I was bummed out because I didn't know how to turn the odometer back. And he came home and he's like, there's 800 miles on my brand new motorcycle. But yes,
Oh,
same thing. It was a joke because I
yeah,
couldn't. Yeah, girls
yeah.
didn't do that. They weren't astronauts. They weren't motorcycle riders. Isn't it nice to look back at our history and see the women that really paved the way for us and meet some of them
Oh,
like Gloria and Chris Summer Simmons? And, I mean, just incredible women.
yeah, yeah. I feel really fortunate in the fact that I live in a time where not only is it okay for women to ride motorcycles, but it's okay to encourage other women to ride motorcycles. I'm getting ready to coach. So that picture that you had up earlier was actually my first all women's class.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to do another one second week of September. So I feel so fortunate that not only is it totally cool for chicks to ride motorcycles, but now we get to encourage other women to ride motorcycles, because there was a time where like the women who were riding, who were paving the way for women riders, people were mean to them, and they
Oh,
had
yeah.
a bad rap, and like it was very frowned upon, and they kind of had to
Yeah.
bite the bullet for the rest of us to
Oh, yeah.
enjoy the luxury.
The boys used to do mean shit. They pissed in my helmet, stole my spark plug wire. They did all that stuff. And
Yeah.
then, they wanted to see if you would cry and go home.
Yeah.
No, I just waited for them to go back in and get a beer and stole somebody else's spark plug wires, put them on my bike and left. I was like, oh, okay. There you go. Good turn about fair play. It's kind of funny that that you say it like that. You know what I mean? To be able to, it's okay to inspire. Like, listen, I do garage parties down here with some of the dealers, but if you guys are ever doing a garage party, I'd love to come and just visit. You know what I mean? Because I love that. I love to see how they light up. You can't really explain that to people, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if they're 18 or if they're 60, 40, and it's their first, they're excited and they just there's so much passion and they exude it, and it's like a light bulb, when it's radiating in that really cool, like antique color. It's not the regular
Mhm.
light bulb. It's not your LED and not your old fashioned. It's like this. It's cool. I love it. It makes me happy. So I love that you're doing that. I think that's fantastic. So who is your childhood hero?
I don't know. You know how like some people have posters of Arnold Schwarzenegger or like whoever on their walls when they were a kid? I never really had that. I never really had, and I don't know if it's just because I didn't sit in front of a television very much when I was a kid, because I was always out like
Right.
outside doing something, but
Yep.
I never really had a childhood
That's
hero
okay.
necessarily. Like I had teachers and like people in my life that I looked up to, but it wasn't really like I don't
It
know.
didn't. Yeah, it's not somebody that you just. I
Yeah.
get that. And what
Yeah.
about motorcycles? You got a motorcycle hero?
Oh gosh. I don't know. There's so many good motorcycle people out there. It's hard to pick just one.
That's a good answer. I
And they're
love
all
that.
so cool for different reasons.
Yes, yes. And you're lucky because you're fortunate to be around some of the most iconic individuals in our industry. I mean, just where you are and who you associate with and so on and so forth. You have the opportunity to meet people. I myself the same way, you know what I mean? Like be in a room with Ed Kerr, you know, uh, I
Crazy.
knew Arlen Ness. Donnie and Arlen and Dave used to hang on my walls. Like, that was my teenage. I was working in a motorcycle shop when I was 15, though. So it was a little, where you were
Yeah.
probably painting, doing art and things like that. Right.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you ever painted?
First thing I ever painted,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've been painting since probably before I could walk. That was how my mom kept me entertained when I was a kid.
Okay.
I always had paints or crayons, or I still have this drawing that I did. I had to have been maybe first grade, kindergarten, first grade. Got sent to a community art show, but I was so
Awesome.
little. Like they sent a letter to my parents, but I was so little I couldn't remember what it was that I did because I just did it in school, right?
Great.
I was probably like, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 7.
I love it.
And I remember my parents took me, we walked around this show, what seemed like hours. And they kept saying, well, which one's yours? Which one's yours? And I was like, I don't know.
I love
Finally
it.
found it. We finally found it. And it's this like under the sea, and it's got a little frog and a shark. It's adorable, and I still have it, but like when I think of like my first art piece or like my first art show, that's probably it. That's probably the first one that I can
That's
like really remember.
awesome. I love that. I absolutely love that. So, what would you say your biggest challenge in motorcycling has been or is?
Mm, I'd say probably the confidence to do it and the confidence to like get better and to practice and to feel. I remember again Daytona. I remember riding around Daytona and just like watching these people ride around, and they look so cool and like confident and chill, and like just white knuckling my way through it going, I want to be that chill. I want to be that cool. I want to be that confident. And so like constantly battling that until I finally got to the point where I started moving up. I say moving up, uh outgrowing motorcycles, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like started on that little white bike, and then I got my first Harley, and then right after that it was a slightly bigger bike, and then and once that progression started and I started getting more confident and the bikes got bigger and the bikes got faster, I went, oh, I can do this. But
Right.
that initial struggle of like, and you're in your helmet and you're going, can I do this? Can I do this?
I love
I don't
it.
know if I can do this, because the people I was riding with had been riding for, about
Yeah,
as long as I've been alive.
it looks
So
effortless, right?
they make it look so effortless, and to
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're constantly overthinking everything,
Mm-hmm.
that was a huge challenge.
Right. And then you ride so many different motorcycles, you learn how to become one with the machine. Doesn't matter which one it is, you learn to
Right.
become one with that. So that's
Yeah.
super cool. I love it. So, what's your favorite motorcycle?
Probably the Pan America.
Okay.
I love it. I
You.
absolutely love it.
What's the craziest place you've ever ridden that?
So I actually haven't ridden the Pan America very many crazy places yet. I just been bopping around town on it.
Any
Um,
off road? Did you go off road at all? They
Not
say that's what
yet.
it's for.
Not yet. I know, and I want to. I want to so bad, but I don't want to off road by myself yet on it
Right.
because I'm not quite that. Like I'm comfortable on it, but not quite to the point where I want to go off road.
Yeah, because it's
So
tall. That's a tall
it's
bike too.
tall. Yeah, and
Hmm.
I'm tippy toed on it, and if it didn't have the adjustable ride height, I probably wouldn't be as comfortable as I am on it. But since it lowers a little bit when you start it up, I can at least get my toes down.
Right.
But we
How
need
tall are you?
5'6".
Okay. Well, still, that if you can be on your toes, that's pretty good. I thought it would be taller than that. I haven't really sat on one. I'm gonna have to do that. I know I'm. I don't want to. I'm reluctant to do it because I know I'm gonna like it, and
Yeah.
it's so just not old school Harley. It's not my shovel
It's
head.
yeah, no, it's almost not Harley in a
It,
way. It
yeah.
feels very different from anything that I've ridden. And I've ridden a good number of different types of bikes now. But I tell you what, it is so nimble and it is so fast. It's
Okay.
like, yes, it looks big. It looks big. It's tall and it kind of looks like a very bike. But
Uh-huh.
when you get on it and you start riding, like I literally just feel like a feather. Like I
I
can
love it.
U-turn better on the Pan America than I can on my lowrider ST. Like it's
Wow.
very nimble. It's
Wow, that
insane.
says a lot.
Yeah.
That's
So be
crazy.
careful. Test ride it, but be careful because
I want
you'll be
one. I'll,
you'll
I'll be
be
screwed,
addicted.
right? That's funny. That is funny. Okay, so what's your favorite route you've ever ridden?
Grand Canyon.
Oh,
It was
nice.
so gorgeous. It was I it didn't even look real. It looked like a postcard.
I love that. Wow, that's an epic ride there.
So epic.
Everybody should everybody should try that for sure.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I it's on my list of things to do also. So,
I would do it
wow, Grand
again.
Canyon. And
I
the
would do it
colors
again
of
in
the
a minute.
rocks and just it's and how the plants grow and just the things that you don't expect to see that you don't see in pictures, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the way the air feels and how it smells, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
like it's crisp and it the whole body. Like when you're on a motorcycle, you have that whole body experience.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that for sure. So, what would you say your craziest breakdown memory is? Doesn't have to be you, it could be anybody that you've traveled with, but there's got to be one good one.
Um, I don't know. I've seen a lot of like riding with the hamsters, they've all got those crazy hand-built custom bikes. So I've seen
Hmm.
some breakdowns where they just fix stuff right there on the side of the road with a piece of duct tape and an Allen wrench. And I'm like, wait,
Yep.
what did you say was wrong with that? How did you? And they're like
Super,
pulling chewing gum out of the back, and this guy's got a twist tie.
super glue, safety wire. Yeah, all of it.
Right.
Yep.
And they've
Uh-huh.
MacGyvered this thing and off we go. And I'm like, how?
That's an
Why
awesome description. They MacGyvered it. That's awesome.
you? And
I
I
love
am
it.
not mechanically inclined to say the least, like at all. And so to watch them just be like, oh, yeah, and then off they go. I'm like, wait,
I
you
love
didn't
it.
call a tow truck or anything? You just fixed it?
That is so
Okay.
awesome. That is awesome. I love that. So, what would you say your most cherished motorcycle memory is?
Mm, Probably the first time I rode with my parents.
Oh, your
Yeah.
parents ride, huh? They ride
Yeah.
Harleys?
Yep. Yep.
Very
Yeah, my
cool.
dad has been on a Heritage for years. My mom had a Dyna Lowrider for a while, but she just bought her first trike. And
Oh,
so going home and like riding with them is just, I don't know. Like
I love
it's
it.
cool. It's cool to
Yeah,
have
that's
that
awesome.
experience.
That is so awesome. That is very cool. All right, so if you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self something, what would that be?
Buy the bike.
Ah, I love it. Good answer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't
I haven't.
when I was 16, I did not want a car. I wanted a motorcycle. And I remember asking my dad, like, hey, can I just get a bike? Like, can I just learn to ride a bike? I just want a bike. I just want to take a bike to college. I don't really want a car. And he was like, no, no, no. Like, you're 16. You need to get a car. You need to get familiar with the roads. And then,
Okay.
we can talk about getting you a motorcycle, but like you got to get a car first. That's the practical, responsible thing to do, right? And then
Right.
I ended up getting married at 21, and he was against me having a motorcycle. And so it wasn't until I was 30 that I finally went and got one. So I think that if I was talking to 18-year-old me, I would say, listen, just go get the bike. Just go do
Yeah.
it. Just go take the class. Because life changed. Like after I started riding a motorcycle, life changed for
Yeah.
the better.
Yes. Oh, definitely. I noticed that too. Like you get in the hustle bustle of everything, especially here, it doesn't stop. There's no downtime. They don't stop to redo their motorcycles or whatever. So there's no real downtime. But I noticed I get in the hustle bustle and all the girls were leaving for Sturgis today. And I was like, I just got a Super Glide, like a 2013 Super Glide. It's my first twin cam ever. I have an Evo I haven't even like really messed with. I ride a shovel head, so I was like, oh, the responsible person says, stay here, do all the things you have to do. And my inner child is like, screw it, get your
Let's
shit,
go.
go. So you'll have to promise me while you're up there, you have a little bit of fun for me. And then, send me pictures and all that good stuff like that. Because I love that stuff. I'm going to miss you guys up there for sure. All right.
Yeah.
So if money didn't matter and you could take a road trip on your motorcycle anywhere, where would you go and who would you take with you?
Europe, for sure. I want to ride the Swiss Alps. There's some beautiful passes. Like if you go on YouTube and start watching some of the videos of the roads and stuff through the Swiss Alps, it's just
That's
dreamy.
awesome.
It's just
That is
dreamy.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
cool. It'll happen. All you have to do is think about it. It'll happen at some
Yeah.
point. I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys will make it happen. That's got to be on the list of things to do.
Oh, for sure. So my parents have been over there. My parents have ridden through some of those parts. So I really want to take Mark and go back out there and have my parents go with us and
Oh, how
just spend
cool.
like 2 weeks just like riding around and getting the most epic YouTube videos ever.
I love it. That's amazing. I love your videos too. You take some really good videos. You have really good pictures too. Yeah, you're talented. You're an artist. It doesn't matter in which medium. I see that you did this one with the motorcycle, and it was in front of like this picturesque waterfall, and I was just like, holy shit, look at that! It looks like you can just reach out and touch it. I was like,
Oh yeah.
damn. Yeah, that was really good.
That was
I
a
like
fun
that.
ride.
Yeah.
It was a fun
Where
ride.
was that?
It was in Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going in October.
Right outside Maryville.
That's where we're going in October for the V Twin Visionary show.
Yeah.
We're gonna be there.
So meet up with, do you know the Jessups?
Yeah, Janine and John. Yeah, very much so.
Janine led a group of us girls on that ride.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to. Yeah, because I missed it. I missed the ladies' ride at TMMR, so
Yeah.
I'll have to make up for that. I will definitely have to get in touch with her. She was on the show about a month ago. So
She knows all the secret spots,
And
and
she's
at least in
so
Tennessee
much-
and in that area. So
yeah, and she's so much fun. She
Yeah.
is like a little ball of fire. That woman, I love her. She's just she tells it to you straight. She's no bullshit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And she's not crass. She's not, rude. She's not arrogant in any way. She is just straight up honest, fun, kind. I'm sure I wouldn't want to piss her off, because I imagine if you piss her off, she's a bigger ball of fire than just a little ball of fire. But I absolutely adore her. She's another one. Her personality, it's just like you. It just exudes all that goodness. I love that. It's always good to be around people that are like you, because I do my best to always. I like the goodness. I like the positivity. I like that we lift each other up instead of, it's nice to be at a place and around people where they're not talking about other people. They're talking about the things they're doing. They're talking about upcoming events, how they can help their community. To me, that means the world. I don't need gossip high school drama shit. That's no, that's why I'm in motorcycles, because we don't do that to each other. I mean, you know what I mean in that regard. Yeah. Okay, so tell us something about yourself that most people wouldn't know.
I really, really don't like worms. To the point that I am like freaked out, borderline scared of them. Like earthworms. Like
right. Okay. Listen.
Snakes, no problem. You can wrap a snake around me, no problem. Worms.
I love it.
I'm not scared of much as far as animals go.
Right?
They don't. Animals in general, like spiders, like
worms are gross.
Like roaches don't bother. No, worms.
Wait.
No.
We have these things. We have these things down here. They're like worms, but they're centipedes, right? And like they'll get out in the springtime, and if you have mulch around or whatever, they'll get on the sidewalk, and you'll step out, and they crunch, and you're just like, oh, ew. And I'm like, I don't want to go outside. Somebody go sweep all that shit off of there. And they're like, but they're just little centipedes, and I'm like, I don't care. Same thing. Ew, like putting an earthworm on a hook. No. Oh, I lost her. Oh no. Oh, wow. It's probably because we went a little overtime. Maybe her phone died. That's okay. It's okay. Maybe she'll sign back in. We'll check it out here. Let's see. I think I got her back. Let me see. Nope, not yet. But we'll leave it open in case she comes back. How's that? We didn't get to all our questions, but it's okay. That's all right. So, like I said, incredible people. I'm so lucky. I'm incredibly lucky to be around so many magnificent people, and the opportunities that I get to meet more magnificent people. Like I met Miss Ashley and Sir Mark at the Smokeout through Chris and Heather. Some of the other hamsters that I know, Kevin Baxter was there, Mr. Kerr, Ed Kerr. I'd like to have him on the show one day. Yeah, it's just incredible. I'm very fortunate, and I'm happy. And we only missed out on one question. She didn't get to tell us her 5 good things, which is okay, because, I mean, you can see she's full of good things. Absolutely full of good things. And, well, we get her back. Check her out. There you go. Battery died, right?
Battery died.
I love it. And we only have one question left. Isn't that always the way that shit goes, too? It's too funny. And I see Rogue and Eddie Coleman. There's so many people watching tonight. It's absolutely fabulous. I love it. Okay, so lastly, what I would ask you is if you could tell us your 5 good things, because this show is home of the 5 good things. You know, everybody has to find 5 good things to spread their positivity. So would you give us yours?
5 good things.
Mm-hmm.
I get to go to Sturgis and hang out with some of the coolest people in the industry. Total imposter syndrome, but it's cool. No. I'm just going to embrace it.
You are no imposter, honey. You're right in there. You fit right in the family. Don't you worry. Get that out of your mind right there.
We replaced the clutch in my chopper, so I get to ride the chopper while I'm there.
Let's go.
I got to ride it around the block one time before it got stuck on the trailer and sent out. So I feel good that I got to ride it at least once before I have to ride it in front of a bunch of people with a new clutch.
That's okay. Yes. You'll do fine, I'm sure.
I'm really, how many is that? That's 2. Okay, so 3. I just finished a little piece for the hamster charity auction. It's a little like baby bagger, and I'm very happy with how it came out. And so I'm super excited to see what everybody brings to the table, and hopefully that'll bring some good money for the kids. Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
And then as soon as we get back from Sturgis, it's smoke out and it's tank full. So I'm really excited about getting that done. Don't tell Heather I'm late on the due date. But that's going to be awesome. Because like I said before, people get to participate in that online. So even if they're
Online.
not at the rally, they get to donate and
Right.
bid, because it's a silent auction. So they get to bid and stuff on those tanks before.
Yep.
And I get to see you there. So
I
that'll be
love it.
exciting. Does that count as, I think that counts as number 5. Because I'm not going to
I'll
see
take
you in
it.
Sturgis, right?
You won't. No, you
No.
won't.
But I'll see you at Smokeout.
You will. And just for those watching, the Hamsters is a group of very incredibly wonderful people. Some of them are eclectic in their own right, and I mean, which makes them even more incredible because there's so many personalities there. But just want all the viewers to know they do. It's an event for hamsters only, and they're plus ones. It's like a big dinner, and everybody brings something, and they auction it off, and they raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for the kids in the spearfish and sturgis communities. How freaking awesome is it to be part of that? That's got to be amazing. I've been
Yeah,
to the dinner once.
yeah, it's really crazy. It's so cool because like we call it a dinner, but most of us barely eat because
Right.
we're all walking around and we're all friends and we could all just buy this stuff from each other, but that's not the
Right.
point. The point is to bid on it, and people get into like bidding wars and stuff, and then all that money goes to Lifescape. And then a lot of times they have a kid that we have raised money to help in the past come, and they get on stage and we get to meet the kids, and like we get
Oh,
to,
how cool.
hear their story on how the money that we raise like has changed their life and stuff. And then the next thing you know, the whole room full of big bad bikers are just
Oh, yeah, I
yeah.
love it. Oh,
Yeah,
I love
it's all
it.
the good feels. It's all the good feels for sure.
I
So I
absolutely love
really
it.
look forward to that dinner every year.
And you guys all get dressed up too. All the girls get to get dressed up.
Yeah,
Right?
which is
Yeah.
nice because we're biker chicks. So a lot of times
Uh-huh.
we're just in biker clothes all the time. So
Yep.
we put on
Yeah,
the
that's
cocktail
cool.
dresses and the heels, and
I love it. I love it. Well, that's good. I hope you guys have so much fun. Enjoy Sturgis. I'll be thinking about you, and anybody that matters, you tell them I said hello. Just tell everybody I said hello, because that's there. I love everybody. I just it's like you said, it's so cool because you get to see people that you don't always get to see. They don't always come to the East Coast. You
yeah.
can't always make it to the West Coast. It's kind of the central location for that. So that
Yeah.
is fabulous. Okay, well, tell Bowser and Mark I said thank you very much for staying up late. I appreciate it.
Oh, he
And
left. He left me. Bowser done went to bed. He left me.
oh,
He's like,
okay.
I'm out of
And
here,
Mark,
Mom. I'm going to bed without you.
right? And Mark's like, I smoked my last cigar. Come on, let's go. Right? That's it. I got it. All right. Have a wonderful time, beautiful. I'm so happy for you, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see your tank for Tankful. And
Yeah,
I'll make sure I put up a link for everybody so that they can go ahead and participate as well. I'll do that.
that'd be
All
awesome.
right.
Yeah,
And
I love that.
anytime, anything I can do to help, whatever I can do. I'm inspired by you. It eludes my whole perception of the fact that, you know, there's so much talent, and you're so beautiful, and you're just such a good person. It's like there's so much about you that we're all just lucky to have you. So just so you know, that's how I feel about you, and I'm feel wonderful about that. And I hope that the weather is wonderful for you guys. I hope it cools off a little. I hope there's no freaking hail, no crazy shit, no tornadoes, none of that. And and if you see Beaner anywhere and you know there's going to be some crazy weather, just send him towards it and it'll stay with him. And you
Okay,
won't have to worry about it. Yeah, that's
got it.
cool. It's all good. All right. Have a great night. Thank you so
Right.
much. Mwah.
Right.
I'll talk to you soon. Again, how lucky am I? See, batteries die. And she was so kind to come back. Okay, well, we're done. I had an afterthought. I didn't want to put up on the screen. The afterthought. So, does everybody know the meaning of love? Everybody thinks they know the meaning of love. But honestly, when it comes down to it, and I know it's going to be shocking, but when you're in a relationship or you're in a family or whatever, however the dynamic is, when you love somebody, the true meaning of love is consideration. Okay? Consideration, kindness, respect. Just everybody try to remember that now that we're going through crazy political things and all this other stuff, times are hard, money's tight, there's so much. Let's just practice love, loving one another. And by that, being considerate, being empathetic, being kind, and yeah, even being forgiving sometimes. You know what I mean? So, all right, we're going to shoot out 5 good things, you guys know. And I'm sorry I didn't get to fan 5 good things. There were some good ones too. I just didn't want to take up any of my guest time. All right, be kind to yourself and others. It matters. Share a smile with a stranger. Help someone who needs it, even if you need help yourself. This one's the key. Find joy in one small thing every day. And remember to spread your sunshine, even on the rainy days. All right. Well, all I can honestly say is I'm grateful for you all. My Monday nights are so wonderful because I get to be with you. And thank you all for commenting in there. Sorry, I can't read the comments and concentrate on the guests, but I love you all so much. Rogue, Eddie, Miss Cheryl, Willie, Jared, Cheryl, Samantha, all of you. There's so many, and I just want to thank you all. Have a great chopper week. We won't be here next Monday or the Monday after because, well, it's Sturgis. And if there's some way I could end up there, it might happen. No, I'm just kidding. I'm working on a project. It'll be unveiled here. I love you all. Have a great chopper week. I will see you. I'll put out an announcement, okay? And I'll remind you, no show next week and the week after.